Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Lehigh Valley Arts Podcast, Backstage. Today we are at the art establishment covering the gallery exhibition Sweet Distress, which features the work of Doug Boehm and Anthony Smith Jr.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Ellen Flynn is the general manager and owner of the art establishment here in Fountain Hill, Pennsylvania, and we are here for Anthony and Doug's show. And I'm just curious if you'd talk a little bit about the gallery setup you have here.
Sure. We have a gallery space in the back of our studio. It's about 1,100 square feet. It's got white brick walls, wood floors. It's a really great space to showcase artists' work. And we've had a lot of great artists come through here throughout the years. And it's a very, I think, charming space. It's not sterile. It's a very warm and kind of funky space.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do a lot more here than just the gallery space, right?
Yeah, we do. We have studio space for artists to work in. We have a printmaking studio, a painting and drawing studio, pottery studio, and a black and white darkroom. We have classes and workshops. We have summer camps for kids. So yeah, we got a lot going on here.
Awesome. And you have the greatest gift shop too, which we're kind of hanging out in.
I forgot to mention the gift shop. Yes.
That's great. Cool. Well, thank you so much. And I'm curious if there's like anything that really jumps out about you and Anthony and Doug's work that you're like really excited to have it in the gallery here.
Well, I think the first thing I'm excited about is that they've never shown together. They've never had a show together. And so that's pretty exciting. But I think it really blends very well, their styles and the colors. And I just think it's a really fun show. It's up through April 30th. So come on out.
So, Doug and Ellen, I know that the art establishment is in Fountain Hill. Can you guys talk a little bit about the localization part of this show?
The studio is in Fountain Hill. My husband Tom and I also live in Fountain Hill, 4 blocks away from the studio, and we're longtime Fountain Hill residents. We've lived here for 21 years, and we've had the studio for 10 years. We've been open for 7 years, and so it was really exciting to us when we talked to Doug about having a show here, because I know Doug also lives in Fountain Hill. Doug, how long have you been here in Fountain Hill?
I've lived here for about 15 years, and let me tell you, it's a thrill to live on the hill. That's like the local motto, right?
Yeah.
It's I'm sure it's printed somewhere, right?
It's on the banners, on
yes,
the telephone
yeah.
poles, yes.
Yeah, this is definitely the most local show. It's even walkable. I could walk a couple blocks away to my house. And usually I'm doing shows elsewhere, but since this is here, the art establishment, Anthony and I came to an opening not too long ago, and we were talking, and Anthony's like, why don't we do a show here? And I'm like, let's do that. Sure. I think I wanted to do a show with Anthony for a while, so that was part of it as well. I think our work looks it pairs well, texturally and line quality and all this. So in 2020 specifically, I created just a ton of work. And one of the things about the work that I have here is a lot of it's more experimental than my usual work. One of the pieces is more indicative of what I typically do. And then the guitars are certainly a brand new, fresh, something that I've been showing. And these mono prints are very simple and kind of like to the point. So I took an opportunity to do something more experimental for this show, for at least my end of it.
I'm here right now with Doug and Anthony, and we're about to start talking about the show's name, which is Sweet Distress. So what can you guys say about the name Sweet Distress and how your works complement each other?
It's funny, that name, it was kind of like it was made in like a committee practically. I mean, we had like several that we went through, and we were like, how about this and how about that? Like, we went back and forth. And I think that what we were trying to go after is that there's a sort of an aspect of like decay that we are really into that kind of appealed to us, so.
Yeah, a lot of the names that we came up with had something to do with texture, because that was like a commonality between our work, the physicality of the surface. And so we were like iterating names. And I think
for a while it was like sweet textural. For a while that was the name.
Yeah.
And then,
So I talked to Michelle, my wife, about it. I'm like, what do you think about sweet textural decay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like a juxtaposition, you know. So yeah.
That's awesome.
That was the origin of the name.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great, like, that we're in these spaces, like, in the art establishment, because it's like a repurposed space. It was a former printing press that was in here. Right. And so I think that, like, that aspect of, like, sort of repurposing something that was, like, considered derelict for many years, that's why I like that name is for this show in this spot. It feels like it's, like, appropriate. Because
awesome.
That's our entire region. All these buildings, those big, beautiful buildings that people want to tear down for something new.
Sure.
It was so much nicer when you can just repurpose them and just do something great like what these guys did here, what Ellen and Tom did in this space, instead of just knocking it down.
Boy, the art establishment, what a place! Let me tell you, it's phenomenal. The facilities, the lighting, the walls, the ambiance. I love it. Yes, raise the volume a little bit louder here so we can all hear. This place is just phenomenal. It's booming, it's bopping. Everybody's here. Everybody's here today.
Yes, it is my first show. Yeah, it's really nice space.
Yeah, we did our PBS special here with Ellen for Champions of Inclusion. We did it here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it makes me more familiar with it. A lot of interesting pieces. Anthony's always a good artist. I'm learning Doug as an artist, so there are some pieces I want to actually pick his brain about and see what the concepts are. But
that's awesome.
It's really good.
I really, really love it. A lot of intricate details, a lot of different symbolisms.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love it.
One of Anthony's drawing pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do love that piece a lot. And I also like Doug guitars.
Yeah.
His guitars are pretty good. Yeah.
I always love Anthony's work because what I learned on your podcast is how much goes behind the scenes that you never see. And I watch him working in the studio.
Yeah.
And it just builds layer on layer on layer. And it's I wish there was. I like the black and white here because it's like one layer. Now he's adding some color on top of this, but then you sort of see this as the undercurrent of some of the other things. There's so much message and stories that's hidden that you can't see, but I've learned to hugely appreciate the work that goes into it and the messages.
So you want to know why we're here tonight?
Yes, I do. What brought you out?
Michelle Bohm I did prenatal yoga with her when I was pregnant with my son, and she was pregnant with her twins. And we're here to support her and her husband and her family and to check out the art.
I love Doug's Four Horsemen painting. I think it's my favorite piece that he's made so far. The subject matter, the amount of detail, how large it is. It's absolutely masterful.
I think it's great that these art venues exist in the Lehigh Valley. I didn't know about this one prior to coming here. And to see local artists and the talents that is around, I just enjoy seeing these types of exhibitions. So
we came out to support Anthony. We have a couple pieces we got from the Allentown Art Cocktails and Collecting. So we wanted to support him and see what his new work was.
Love Anthony's work, and I came to see that. And it was interesting when another artist partners with another one, because I'm why is Anthony partners with this person? So I'm excited, and I love Doug.
Yeah, I think the show looks amazing. I had really high expectations, and of course with Doug's work. And this is the first time I'm seeing Anthony's work, so definitely blown away. The show looks great.
Thanks for tuning in to this special episode of the Lehigh Valley Arts Podcast, Backstage. We'll see you next week.